good morning, good evening, wherever you're listening, however you're listening. Thank you for listening. This is the Talkin Ish podcast.
You have to swing by yourself. If you had to play by yourself, you had to play by yourself and swing.
Symbol is the stock market for sports where you can buy and sell virtual shares of your favorite teams using real money. Each time your team wins, you earn a win payout. If your team loses, you lose nothing. Symbol offers trading for the NFL, NBA, and MLB, with college football coming this fall. Visit www.symbol.com today and use promo code Talkin Ish to earn a $10 deposit bonus on your first deposit. That's www.symbol.com, SIMBULL.com. Yeah, like when it comes to the pandemic and stuff, that's something that, all those dumbasses that were like anti-vax and they didn't want to wear masks and all that shit. That's something that gets lost in the sauce when everyone's talking about the severity of the virus, because it's like, sure, only 1% of people or whatever fucking die, but how many people, because they had to quarantine and things were locked down, relapsed, whether they're
overdosed.
Yeah, or overdosed, like whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol,
exactly.
It's just so, I don't know, like that whole thing is a completely different subject. Like it's so stupid that people are that dense that they can't process information in even a two-dimensional way.
Yes. The problem is that we have become such a country focused and we've learned to focus only on ourselves and the people in our lives rather than think of our fellow man that are maybe outside of our social circles.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's like, that's something that I think is just a pure product of American culture.
It is.
We're just so wildly competitive in every way. And we're all about getting ahead and being the best and just fuck everything else, that it sort of trickles. Yeah. It trickles down into every other aspect of our culture, just interpersonal relationships. And then scaling a little bit bigger from that point, if there's a government official in a city, like a mayor, they might decide to embezzle a little bit of money, and then that goes into affecting how the schools get funded, and it can all just spiral off of just one selfish decision. And I think that's something people don't realize, how little a choice how small of a choice you can make that can have such big ramifications.
Yes. And I hate those stories where a local school raised or created a wheelchair or something for a little girl who had no health insurance or something. I'm like, that's not a feel good story. That's sad. This family was not able to afford to get their own child something that she obviously needed. Do you remember the story also of the little girl who was going blind or something? Insurance wouldn't cover that,
which is insane, because isn't that what insurance is for? If bad things happen.
Yeah, but I guess she didn't have insurance.
Oh my god,
it's so ridiculous to me that this poor mom for her daughter had to go on GoFundMe for something that's so vital.
And, it's funny that you say that, because how many times have we seen that where it's this feel good story getting covered in the news, or, it just gets this publicity, like it's this beautiful thing that's happening. And I don't mean it. I don't want to take away from it, because in reality, it is a beautiful thing. It's really easy for us in this fuck you culture to just be like, nah, I'm not going to donate. But like the fact that that's what they have to resort to is the problem. And it's not a feel good story when it's like this young girl has cancer or she's going blind and her GoFundMe raised $1 million. And people are like, oh my gosh, look at the generosity of people. But it's also like, yeah, but this is something that has to do with her livelihood and her survival. You know what I'm saying? Like that shouldn't be something that she needs to rely on the generosity of people.
Exactly.
That's something that should just get taken care of. Like, period. Like, yeah, I don't know. It's insane. Like the culture that we live in is just so fixated on like competition and just being better than other people and just forgetting your fellow man, and just moving on, which like, I don't know, like to an extent I can empathize with it in a way, because it's like at the end of the day, what I care about is me and mine. But I don't think that eliminates the obligation that I have to be decent to other people.
Yes. You recognize that as a human being, that is something that you should be.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm human. I need to be human to other people just as much as they are going to be human in the way they exist and how they're going to treat me.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like that's something that just always makes me feel so depressed if I fixate on it. Cause it's like, it's crazy how many things, like how small the thing could be, but it reminds you of that fact that people can be so selfish and just dismissive of other people's issues. Like, this is something that we can get into, but it relates. The fact that we have both worked in librarianship in our lives, and that's sort of like retail in a way, like retail light, because you're just dealing with whoever comes through the door and helping them in whatever way. And then you just see the way people just treat you, or even the way you see people treat like the workers in like a Walmart or a Target or something like that. Like that is one of those reminders where it's like, Jesus Christ, like everybody can be so incredibly self-centered that they'll get pissed off over something that in the grand scheme of things is very minuscule. And
or things that are out of our power.
Yeah, things that are out of our, like those times where people come in and they're like pissed off because we didn't have a book. And it's like, what do you want me to do? Just magically spawn this book like a magician out of a hat?
Shit it out for you?
Yeah,
get
like
cuts in my ass.
Yeah, like if I concentrate enough, I can poop it right here.
I need a lot of fiber, sir. It's like it'll be a hot minute, but I'll put it down for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like it. That's the thing that gets me is I don't think I've come across a situation, unless it was something that logically should work. Like I don't want to sound like I'm perfect or anything, but like the only time I've been pissed off when something wasn't working out is when it's like there's a clear pathway for it to be resolved and then it doesn't for some random reason that can't be explained. Like recently I bought like 4 pairs of shoes on Nike. It was like 30 minutes after I got the notification that they got delivered. I like show up in my apartment at my building and like the box is nowhere to be found. And when I call Nike, they look into the FedEx records, and the person who signed for it, his name is Giannis. He signed it Giannis. Now, if that's his name or not, I don't know, but Giannis isn't my name.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why the fuck did that package get signed off to this person? And I get like, he could just sit there and be like, oh yeah, I'm his friend. And the FedEx worker's just looking at it like, all right, cool. Like whatever, here you go. Sign it off. Boom, I'm out. And then he goes to his next delivery. But at the same time, it was frustrating to me because first of all, it was like 10 something in the morning. So it was like, God damn, like somebody's already camping out to like steal some shit. And then 2, my leasing office has been fucking limited in terms of their hours and the people in the office, I guess because of COVID, or maybe they're understaffed. But to me, that's the job of the leasing office. When you got a package that got to get signed for, they should sign for it.
Yeah.
Because we're the residents. Yeah. And that was the thing. Like, I was so enraged because it's like, in the grand scheme of things, do I need these shoes? Is it the end of the world? No, it is not.
But it's your money. It's the money that you worked for.
And to your point, yes, it's something I worked for. But when I called Nike, they were like, yo, we'll refund it. No problem. So it's like, okay, in the grand scheme of things, it's not that big of a deal because I'm gonna get my money back. So the expense isn't necessarily like an issue. But the reason why I'm pissed off is because there are so many reasons why this shouldn't have happened.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's my thing is like, you see people that get so pissed off and so like enraged over stuff that just don't even matter.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then it's like stuff that you have no control over, like you said. I don't know. That's the culture that we live in, though. That's the country we live in. It's stupid.
Absolutely. And it's just, we also, just as a culture, we're so obsessed with looks, especially on photos and things like that. Like, I think that oh gosh, I know that, they're shat on so much, but I feel like the Kardashians especially have contributed greatly to that.
Yeah.
Especially on social media, where almost every single photo they have is airbrushed to high heaven. Like when one of them accidentally posted a photo, or her grandma or whatever did, with like stretch marks and stuff, she threw such a hissy fit, like sent out cease and desist letters, had all the websites take them down. I'm like, you're freaking out over something that every woman has, and every woman would feel better about seeing from someone so famous and so well off.
Yeah.
It makes you feel more alien to us when every single photo that you have to put filters on, you have to Photoshop, that you have to trim your waistline. It's so much.
It is. It's a lot.
Like, we've become so obsessed with this culture of, on social media, putting these, what we consider to be these perfect photos, these perfect lives, when in the real scheme of things, we all got our own shit going on. We've got all of our, we're only seeing like not even a slice, more like a shred. And you're only seeing really the good stuff. Like, granted, you'll have your complainers, who use Facebook as their venting wall. But overall, you're just going to see the happy stuff. Except for me, I post very nihilistic, somewhat depressing.
I will say, like, the meme drops that you do, and it's like 40 fucking memes. Like, they could be happy, they could be dark, they could be comedic. It's a nice blend. I feel like it's a very realistic. It's a very realistic representation of like what life is.
It's my personality in meme form.
No, that's true. Yeah, it is. It is. No, but yeah, I think you said it best. Like, it's true. You're only getting a shred. You're not even getting like a slice or a sliver. Like, it's literally a speck of somebody's life. And I think you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about, like, we're just so focused on this image, and like, it's like perfection is the consistent goal. And then that is a disservice to a lot of other aspects of our like society. Like, it's a disservice to people who struggle with like substance abuse, because they feel like they can't say something. They feel like they're flawed if they don't have it all together, or anybody, any kind of issue. They feel like they're flawed. I mean, myself, I've dealt with anxiety and depression for a lot of my life. And there was a good portion of my life prior to, I would say, adulthood, where I felt like I shouldn't say anything because I was seen as weak. Right. You know what I mean? And all of that. So,
as a man, did you feel that because you're a man that you struggled to express that? Do you think that being a man had to do with that? Because, man up, toughen up. Like, because I feel that men in society are often told to hold your emotions in, to be strong consistently, and it's just, I feel that's very toxic.
It is. And I mean, that's something that you don't even have to feel. I think that's fact. You know what I mean? Like, you're completely right in that feeling that you have, because I think every guy can tell you that they've had like some sort of pressure put on them, unless they are so wildly machismo that they don't even want to admit that. But, I think the other thing, a part of it, I think, is that you can't just break it down to gender in a way. You have to break it down to the layers. Like, everything is layered. Like,
absolutely.
Yeah, like, I didn't feel that kind of a pressure and that kind of a stigma to not say something just because I was a guy. But it's like, I'm a guy, I'm Latino, so like my culture, like, talking about how you feel and all of that isn't necessarily something that's readily prevalent. That's not something that's talked about or embraced. And then on top of it, I come from a family that didn't have a lot. So for me to complain about how I feel, you know, when you have that kind of a background too, on top of your culture, on top of being like man or woman, like either way, there's pressures that we deal with. But I think we easily forget that it's so layered that it can feel even worse compared to other people. And that was the thing, was like, I always felt like, why am I complaining when my life is good in the grand scheme of things? My parents hustled and made sure that I was doing okay. Why the fuck am I complaining? Why do I feel negative? Why do I feel this way? And I always felt like there was something wrong, or I was flawed, or I was just being, frankly, for lack of a better term, I was just being a bitch, you know. And it took a lot of growing up and education to really realize that that's not the case. So I think that's something that's sad when we fixate on like image. We take that type of like nuance that I just talked about and just kind of toss it out the window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, okay. So I want to transition real quick because I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I also don't want like I don't want the episode to be like crazy long or something.
You're good, homie.
But we could riff, we could talk about whatever. Last episode I did, we put at the ends of our pod these like thoughtful questions, things that are like thought provoking and just kind of get you thinking about like life and reflecting. So I kind of want to go over some of those questions with you. And I think that'd be a nice way to round out the episode. And this might end up being something that I do like from now on, because I just like the idea of people being honest and forthright about like shit that they've been through and reflecting about stuff.
Yeah.
Let me see. I gotta find them really quick because apparently the shit disappeared off my phone and I had it. I found some of them. Okay, so let's see. Ooh, okay.
Yo.
I'm just gonna go through these questions. Some of them are like really deep, so I don't want you to be surprised when I ask something and you're just like, God damn. Like in my last episode, the first question I asked it, and my boy Tony was like, motherfucker, we going this deep already? I was like, yes.
Even haven't even taken him out to dinner yet.
I know, right? And that's he was like, we going on a date? I was like, I mean, we can.
We can.
Yeah.
It's funny. Dinner, baby.
Okay, so I have some questions. They're pretty deep, so just be prepared to answer some very thought-provoking stuff. But like if you need a moment, I'll go first and then we'll just riff off of that.
All right.
So let's see. This is what I asked last pod. What is something that you can do today that you were not capable of a year ago or 5 years ago? So you could do either or both. It's up to you. Something you can do today that you couldn't do a year ago or 5 years ago.
Not lose my shit.
Yep, there we go. I like that. Short, sweet, to the point. Yeah. Exactly.
Like I have my it used to be like I could go off like real quick, but then now I'm just like, nah. I'll just be like, ooh, this is good though, and I'll just kind of forget about it and just go from there.
I got you. I think that's a good one. Like I would say, yeah, I think with age you kind of learn how to control your emotions more and more as time goes on, but then also you sort of know when to pick your battles too.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of times where like whether it's at work or like personally, like hanging out with people, I immediately am like enraged. And then there's part of me that's like, let me relax.
Oh, like at your last job when you went off on that one IT person? Oh, that was
so yeah. No, I'll talk about that openly. So this bitch's name was Rachel. No, I'm playing. But no, her name was Rachel. And she was an asshole. She like came in and she had to like, I forgot what she was looking at. It was something with like our copy machine. It was fucked up and it wasn't like, or no, our printer. It wasn't like connected to the Wi-Fi or some shit like that. I forgot what it was. And she came in, comes into the office, and I'm the only one that's there. And I didn't put in the request for her to come in or for any IT person to come in. So I have no idea what IT problem exists. And she comes in, I'm at my desk, and she's like, hey, so do you know what's going on with the printer? And I'm just like,
No.
no. And like, I'm already taken aback. It's just like, yo, watch your tone. Why you gotta be so fucking tense? Like,
do I look like a scientist?
yeah, like, am I fucking telepathic that I could just know what the fuck was going on? Like, before you walked in here and what happened around me when I wasn't here? And I was like, nah, I just got here. Like, I don't know. And she's just like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I completely forgot the story because she's enraged me so much that I just fucking like blocked it out. But all I know is she had a fucking tone with me and she was real attitude driven with like trying to figure out what's up with this printer. And I looked at her and I was just like, oh, so like we're not gonna talk to me like that. So why don't we just like slow that down and we rewind and you try again. So what is it that you need? And she asked the question all like calm and stuff. And I looked at her and I answered her like, I have no idea. And then there was just like this weird silence. And I stared at her and I was like, cool, happy to help. And I just sat at my desk and just did my shit again and ignored her for the rest of the time. It was like, nah, you're not going to talk to me like that.
Wasn't there also another time where you just like lost it even more and you're like, I don't know what your problem is, but we're just asking you to do your job.
Okay. So the time that I'm talking about was in the old building, but we closed the old building down. We had opened this brand new facility to the community. It was pretty dope. And there was some issue with our equipment. And she comes in and just has this wild attitude. And I basically was just like, listen, I don't know what is going on with you today. I don't know what is bothering you today, but I got nothing to do with it. So I don't deserve this kind of attitude. So why don't we just like tone this down and we figure out what is going on together instead of you going off on me? Because if you want to go off on me, I'm just going to sit here and not help you out and make your job harder. So what's it going to be? And she was just dead silent and then asked me the question again, but nicer. And it was like, okay, cool.
There you go.
Like, that's it.
You get a gold star for today.
Yeah. Yeah. You get a star. Look at you recognizing your attitude and how loud you are.
Adult. Good on you.
Yeah. Like, and that's the thing. Like, people listening to this definitely don't know because librarianship is like this other world.
It really is.
To most people. Like, yeah, because everybody thinks we just check out books and we read. Like, nah, we do so much more than that.
We got to do programs. We got to like remember story time songs. We got to remember all these different programs that we do and all these different skills. And we also have to assist in different, IT or, website related stuff.
Yeah, like basic IT things, like very basic IT things is stuff that we help with. But yeah, like there's so many like crazy, random, minuscule, or even big things that we do as librarians. And then like there's this culture in librarianship, and you've probably noticed it, where it's like people just don't feel like they can say how they feel and they just don't want to like be confrontational.
Mm-hmm.
And my thing is like the way I was raised, it's like if you being disrespectful to me, nah, fam. Like I'm letting you know what the fuck going on, like immediately. And if you don't like it, that's cool. Talk to my supervisor. Because it's just like I ain't gonna deal with it. Like, I don't know. I was raised where it's like defend yourself and defend your honor and defend what you stand for. But then I was also raised with a little bit of like just because of family and where we come from, there's a little bit of ignorance where it's like at the end of the day, I look at it like, all right, but can you whoop my ass? So if somebody really want to take it that far, I'll fuck them up. I don't care, even if it's at work.
Square off. Yeah. For everyone, as you always say.
Yep. I always said that. These hands are rated E for every fucking one. You come in here and you talking spicy and you want to be disrespectful. And a big reason why I was like that too was because like a lot of people, they're gonna think about it and then it's gonna compute. But like librarianship is like teaching where it's like predominantly female. There's a lot of women that are in librarianship. Yeah. And there's a lot of women, there's a lot of older people. So as someone who was young and was a guy, I always felt like I had to be in like even more so protective of the people that I worked with.
Yes.
Because I know they're just trying to get by and get through the day. So if there's conflict, they're going to just be like, okay, whatever, and they just want to get through that conflict because they want the day to go as easy as possible. But I would never hesitate to just be like,
not just that though. It's also, like, women are taught often in society to be, very to kind of bend over backwards, to be more submissive. And it's
yes. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, it's with especially in like customer service related jobs, you know, a lot of people think when we're being helpful that it's okay, it's acceptable to be flirtatious and to be creepy, and it's not.
Yeah, it's not. It isn't. It isn't. And that's the thing is, because those things are realities in the workplace, but also librarianship. And I say that because like I think a lot of people don't realize librarianship is a place where that happens. But because of that, I always felt like I had to kind of step it up a little bit in terms of how outspoken I was, even if I didn't want to be. And there's a bunch of like instances that I could bring up, you know, like I remember a guy being flirtatious with a coworker of mine, and I walked over and I was like, "Oh, yo, I need to talk to you in the back. Like, you know, let's go ahead and get somebody to take care of him, but I have to talk to you about this project I'm working on." And she was confused and was like, "Okay, okay." And we walked to the back. We get the supervisor for the circulation because she was a circ person. For those of you that don't know, circulation is the people that check the books out for you essentially and handle your accounts.
Yeah.
But we get the supervisor of CERT to take over and handle that guy. And then we go to the back, and I had nothing to talk about with this girl. And I was just like, whatever, you know, and the girl was like, "What do you need to talk about?" And I look at her and I'm like, "I don't really have to talk about nothing. I just saw that you were uncomfortable because I overheard the dude basically flirting with you and complimenting how you look, and you just looked uncomfortable." And she's like, "Oh, you know, thank you. I appreciate it. I just like was so taken aback and overwhelmed by what he was saying. Like, I wasn't even processing what was happening for like the last 10 minutes." And I was like, "It's cool. Like, I'm just glad that I was shelving these books over here." And then I was putting up like signage for like our volunteer or teen volunteer group. So I happened to hear what he said, which is crazy because it's like if I did those signs earlier, you know what I mean? If I did them later, like if I wasn't shelving, like he would have been doing that and nobody would be around. So that was part of it. It's like you never know what you miss. And I felt like I had to say something and had to be like more proactive. And I remember like there was one guy having an attitude with a coworker of mine who was like 70. She was like 70 years old. And he was like, "Nah, this is bullshit. I printed this. It should come out free." And she's like, "Sir, you know, if you just send it to the printer again, I'll release it for free." And he's like, "Why I gotta send it to the fucking printer again?" And he says it all loud. And I walked over and I was like, "Sir, either you calm down or this becomes a problem. And at the end of it, you still don't get your print job. So what do you need to do? Do you need to calm down or you want to make it a bigger issue? And then you walk out of here with conflict and without your print job." And in my head, it's like late March, early April. So I'm thinking in my head, like, all right, what he has to print, because I didn't know what he was printing. What he had to print was tax related.
Yeah,
tax season. Yep. Obviously, our favorite. So obviously, this motherfucker does not want to leave without his tax return or whatever it is he has to print. And he looks at me and he's like, "You don't have to be that disrespectful to me." And I'm like, "I could be as disrespectful to you as I want to be when you're going to be disrespectful to my coworker. So again, what's it going to be?" And he goes quiet and he's like, "I need my tax return. So what do I got to do?" And I was like, "You log onto the computer again. I'll extend your time to make sure that you get it done. And then you go ahead and send it to the printer, print it out. We'll make sure it's free. Let us know when it's there. We'll release it for free. And then you're good. Is there any other issue that you could think of that you're going to have a problem with?" And he looked at me. He was just like, "No." And I was like, "All right, you're welcome. Go to the computer." And like, he had nothing to say. And in my head, there's part of me that's panicking because I'm like, I'm about to get fucking fired with the way I'm talking to this motherfucker.
On your screen, man. You're
shit. I was very heated. But there's part of me that's thinking I'm gonna get fired with like what I was saying, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm not gonna sit there and just let this dude disrespect the 70-year-old woman I work with. Like, dog, like it don't matter if it's a woman or a man. They're 70. Like, respect your elders. I was so fucking pissed off.
I will respect the non-asshole elders. Thank you.
Same. I'm glad you said that because my thing is, don't be an asshole. Period. Like, anybody can get the work. It don't matter. Like, especially in customer service. Like, especially in a library, because I think that's something that people underestimate. They don't recognize it as a retail sort of environment, but they recognize that they could get away with retail like shit.
Yes. No, it's like, I'll never come back here again. Well, good. Please never come back. Please
it'd be like, yeah, please make my job easier. Oh my God. Like, I'm so
make
happy.
all our jobs easier.
Yeah. Oh my Lord. But all right, hold on. I'm gonna get back to these questions because we went on a tangent, but I think it was necessary because I don't think people realize librarianship is so like it's
Stressful.
tough. It's stressful and tough. It is. People think because it's quiet, we don't deal with shit. It's like, dog, like this
Shit,
shit
they
is
should give me a
hard.
budget for getting my gray hairs covered. I swear to God.
Yes, they should. They really should. I agree with that. I would approve that budget request. All right, here's one. Let's see. Here we go. Who do you love and what are you doing about it?
I love my cats and I put up with them even when one of them's being a little asshole.
Jesus Christ. Are they all that you love? Is it just your cats?
And my dog.
And your dog? What? Why is it just the animals?
I'm sorry, they're who I see on a regular basis.
Okay, all right, that's fair.
And I love my family. I love my friends. And you're like one of my best bros easily. And so it's like I love you. I treasure your friendship. I respect you.
Mm-hmm.
You're thoughtful, you're intelligent. And I can crack jokes with you on anything.
Mm-hmm.
And we just be giggling like 6-year-olds.
Yeah. Let's see. What would you do differently if you knew that no one would judge you? Told you these were going to be thought provoking. Some of it's going to take a second.
Raise a raccoon army and then raid a Target on Black Friday.
God damn it. Most random fucking answer possible. But resourceful. I actually like that answer because like you get a lot of stuff.
Chaotic good.
Chaotic good. Right? I'm not hurting anybody. No one needs to get rabies. Let me just get this TV.
Yeah, get the TVs. Get the TVs. Go, go, go.
That's something I didn't answer in the last pod. I would say what would I do differently if I knew nobody would judge me? I mean, I don't really care what people think, but I think everybody does to an extent.
Yes.
So I would say I would be much more open and willing to commit to like self-care when I needed it.
Mm-hmm. And who always try, and myself and other people do try to encourage you. And I feel like you, though, are taking it more into consideration. You're listening and you're growing, and that's important.
Yes, no, it does. It helps because I think everybody, that's another thing is I think everyone, as much as they might purport that they know what they're doing or they know how they feel or you know what I mean, like they are confident how they navigate stuff, they still need guidance and they need people to like, reassure and reaffirm like certain messages. So when y'all are saying like you and my other friends, like take care of yourself, take care of your mental, blah, 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 that matters because it's so easy for me to dismiss my own thoughts and be like, I don't need that. Like I can tough this out. Right. But I would say, yeah, it's that because there's a lot of times where I worry about like what my coworkers think.
Yeah.
And like, oh man, like what do they think? What do they think if I'm taking this time off and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's weird, but like I also feel that way because in like librarianship, like I said, it's woman, like female dominated.
Very.
And there's a lot of times where I just think about like women have periods and there are days where I don't feel good. And I'm like, man, women go to work with a period. And I'm sitting here feeling sad. Like I should just go to work.
Yeah. And they've been doing it for years.
Yeah. Like they've been doing it almost their whole life, like from puberty on, like, you know what I mean? So like, I think about that, but I think everybody has different measures for it. Everybody has different, gauges for like what they can deal with, what they can handle, how they feel. And that's just natural. And I think I do better with that now, whereas like, it's easy for me to be like, fuck it. And like the only people I really worry about are like my partner and, like my parents. Like if I tell my mom, she's like, oh, you work today? I'm like, nah, I took off because like I just didn't feel like going to work. And she just texts me back. She's like, I'm like, damn. Like I'm fucking up. Like she's judging
you got
me.
The mom answer.
Yeah, my mom's like, Like, That's what I'm like, damn, I need to do better. Here's another one. What does your joy look like today? And I want you to really think about this one because I feel like there are easy answers for this, but I also think there are some things that we truly take solace in that mean a lot, even if it's small. So, what does your joy look like today? I don't want a joke answer, Sam. I want a real one.
God damn, I was gonna say pizza because let me tell you, it was hyped to have pizza.
I mean, pizza is great, but pizza is great for everybody, even if they're having a good day.
Joy looks like.
I want serious answers. That's what Talkin Ish is about. Talk your shit.
Joy looks like a clear, nice day, blue skies.
Yeah.
And it's coming out through the trees.
And you love that answer.
And all you see is the little beams of light playing through all the holes and stuff.
I love that answer. Oh my God, Sam. I love that answer.
You made me all mushy and shit.
That's what I want, though. We need more mushy. We just talked about how image conscious our culture is. Now you out here being like, I don't want to be mushy. You could be mushy. This is a vulnerable space. You can be vulnerable.
I am not applesauce. I don't want to be mushy.
Is applesauce mushy though? It's like a liquid.
No, it's like that weird halfway point.
Mashed potatoes are mushy. Like it still sticks to the spoon and shit.
Applesauce kind of does too. You never got that crust on there? Where it sits in the sink?
Apple pie. Not applesauce.
Bro.
I mean, maybe not real applesauce.
Applesauce is a mush.
I'm thinking about Mott's. But I didn't answer just one on the last pod either. What does my joy look like today? I think that's a difficult answer because there's several things that kind of made me happy. But my joy today looks like when, I'll be honest, whether it's a text message or like a video call, that initial like hype of like greeting a person that you're close with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like when you and I are texting and like we're both at work or something and I send a meme or you send a meme and like you respond and it's like in all caps and you're just like, I'm laughing my ass off. Like that really like makes my day because I'm just like, it's so funny because I know that we're bonding over something. We both think it's funny. Yeah. You know, I think about like when I come home and people who own a dog right now as an adult realize this. If you're a kid with a dog, you don't know what this means.
Yeah.
But when you walk into the door and your dog sees you and you're like, what's up? And you see their tail wagging, that's just pure joy. Because it's like, oh my God, like I could be a piece of shit and they just look like my dog loves me. He's like, oh my God, Dad, you're home. So like, real quick shout out to Bill Burr because he had a whole comedic stand up about that. And it made me think like, holy shit, he's right. Like you really comprehend how great a dog is when you're an adult, not when you're a kid, because all of the trials and tribulations of being an adult and navigating this world weigh on you. And then you come home and there's this thing that looks at you and you could have slapped the fuck out of a baby and you come home and your dog is like, oh my God, it's the dude that slapped the fuck out of a baby. And they don't even know that you slapped the fuck out of a baby, but they still love you. He's like, best friend. Yeah, he's like, oh my God, it's you, like your biggest hype man. And you're like, or hype girl if you have a girl dog. And it's like, oh my God, I'm so happy. Like, I love my dog. So I would say my joy looks like when I greet my friends, whether it's in person, on video call, a text, and they're just hyped to talk to me. Coming home, seeing my dog, he's hype as fuck. And then also those moments when my partner works overnight, so she sleeps during the day. And like I come home from work and I'm done with work and she's waking up about to go to work. And that expression on her face when she's like, hi, babe. And she's like happy to see me. That is my joy. Honestly, all of that's my joy. Let me see.
I have diabetes now from how sweet that answer is. Send me over some insulin.
Here's one. If you had to teach something, what would you teach? Again, serious answers. Sam.
God damn it. I don't like serious answers.
I don't want no jokes. I want serious answers. We're always joking. So I want serious answers. I want this to be vulnerable. And it could be anything. Don't think like along the lines of high school and like classes, like anything. What would it be that you could teach?
Misunderstood woman throughout history.
Ooh, I like that. Ooh, speak on it, girl. I love that one.
Well, think about it. There's like a lot of women throughout history. Remember, I was teaching you about Anne Boleyn.
Yes. Yeah,
And
you were.
you put
Yeah.
a post about that, and it was kind of a little demeaning almost. And
Yeah.
and I'll be like, hey man, this is actually, she was a big deal.
Mhm.
She encouraged her future husband Henry to challenge the Roman Catholic Church, the Pope,
Yeah, that's massive. Yeah.
to convince him to divorce his wife, be excommunicated by the Pope, and marry her.
Yep. That's huge. Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember that. I remember that conversation.
Yeah. And it's just,
Yeah.
we, in history, especially if you look back to
Mhm.
pretty much the beginning of history and even to today, but especially back then, if you had any sign of intelligence,
Mhm.
any sign of revolution or rebellion in you, you were considered a witch, a whore, harlot,
Yeah. Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. That's true.
Like, do
Yeah.
you remember Catherine the Great? You remember all those
Yes.
rumors about how she fucked a horse?
Mhm. Yep. I remember
That's
that.
not true. That was slander.
Yeah. I remember being in high school learning about that, and I clearly, like, in my mind, I was like, they are clearly talking shit about her. Like, who the fuck would
Yes,
do that?
because
Yeah.
she was a woman in power.
Yep, exactly. So it's like anything to take her down. Just anything
Yes,
to take her down. Yeah. No, I love that answer though, Sam. Like, honestly, I really love that answer because it's so frank, but it's also very, very specific. Like, you know exactly what you would be able to teach people.
oh
Like,
absolutely.
such a good answer. For me, everything that I've asked so far is stuff that we haven't talked about in the last episode. So for me, if I had to teach something, what would I teach? I feel like I would teach empathy if I could.
Yes, that's important.
Yeah, because I feel like I mean, not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I do a really good job of looking at people and finding the reasons why I should understand who they
You
are and
do.
what they're going through.
You do.
So it's funny because on the last episode, I also talked about the thing that I do. It was a question I asked. I said, what's something that you do that you feel you do differently than other people? And I said, it's be empathetic, but not to a fault, because I feel like people are either or, like they don't care or they do care. Whereas I feel like I'm very, very willing to care, but I'm
Yeah,
very, very willing to look at someone and be like, nah, fuck you. So
I'm
I
getting
feel
there.
like, yeah. So I know I said that, but I feel like I could teach empathy because I always try to look at, and I think that's just the nature of like our job. And you can relate to this because we both work in libraries and we work with the community and anybody that walks through the door. But it's like
Right.
you have to gear yourself to prepare for whoever walks through and what kind of struggles they're going through or interests they have that may not align with yours. So you don't even know how to answer their question or like their computer literacy. Like, do I have to sit there and like guide them through just getting in their email? I mean, there it in this world that we talked about that's so image conscious, it's so easy for people to be like, you don't know how to get in your email. Like, I'm not going to help you. But our job is to look at them and be like, of course I'll help you.
Yeah, because we don't know their background.
Exactly. And that's the thing is like, even in librarianship, there are people that don't have that mentality, but they do it because it's their job. But ultimately, what we need to be doing is understanding everyone comes from a different walk of life. And if they don't know how to get on their email, it's like, whatever,
Yeah, like I don't
And
know. Yeah, and I don't know if I ever told you this story. It was at my old job. One of the first, gosh, it was like within I think the first like couple months working there, there was an older black guy, and he was really struggling to fill out this job application.
Mhm.
Um, his eyes were very bad, and so what I did was I got on my kind of crouched on my knees a little bit because it was a low chair because I knew
Yeah.
this was going to take a while because
Yeah.
he could not see very well at all.
Hmm.
And I kind of guided him through the whole thing. And at the end, he kind of stopped and looked at me and he said, Miss, you're one of the few people lately that treated me like a person rather than an inconvenience. And I
Yeah.
appreciate that. And I really appreciate you taking the time to help me.
That's awesome. That's so great. I
Yeah.
mean, and that's why we do it. You know what I mean? Is like librarianship is very unforgiving. A lot of people don't realize that. Like we just have to roll with the punches that come through the door. But it's that one person that gives you a good like story and a good experience and a good feel that makes you like, yeah, this is why I do it. Like I tell this story, I've told this story to everyone I know, like in my interviews, like the reason why I fell in love with librarianship, it's kind of tied into like a history thing because a lot of my family has worked in libraries and I always went to libraries and I loved it. And I wanted to work with the community. So I felt like once I got out of college and I was trying to think about what I wanted to do, it clicked like, oh, libraries are great. But there was one time I was working for the Richmond Public Library. So Richmond, Virginia, Richmond City's library. And I worked every Sunday. I worked 7 days a week because I was working two different jobs. And I worked Sunday from like, it was open to close, but it was like 12 to 5 or 12 to 6. And there was 1 month consistently every Sunday for 4 weeks, maybe 5. This guy came in and he was a construction worker and he had broke his right arm and he was a righty. And he had a cast like all the way up to like halfway up his bicep. And he came in and he was like, hey, like, I don't know where else to go, but I need to apply to some jobs. I got a pretty decent resume. I'm trying to get another job because I just got laid off and my arm's broken. So I don't know how I'm going to apply to these jobs. And it was so slow. And this is the thing that I'm thankful for was like, I think if it was busier, honestly, I may have tried to find a way to help him, but I would have had to be at the desk and all of that. But it was slow. And I was like, yeah, like you got a library card? He was like, I do. I said, all right, let's get you logged on and I'll sit with you and we'll figure out what you got to do. And I logged on to the computer with him. And over the course of those 5 weeks, we applied every day to like 4 different jobs. So he applied to like 20 total jobs and then he just disappeared off the face of the earth. And then I got a full-time position and I was leaving, like I had put in my 2 weeks notice. So like a week into that, I had 1 week left. And this man walks in and he's like dressed to the nines, like professionally. And I recognized him and I'm like, oh shit, it's that dude that I helped. And he comes in and he's like, hey, I just wanted to say thank you because I one of those jobs that you helped me apply to. And this is the thing was like his dominant hand was broken. So his applications, I typed everything up for him. I uploaded his resume. Like I did everything for him. He was just telling me, oh, this job, go to this website. Can you type this? Can you add this? I typed everything for him. And he came in and he was just like, hey, I'm glad I found you. He said, I came in on Tuesday and they said you weren't here, but you'd be here on Thursday. So I came in. And I just want to say thank you because one of the jobs we applied to, I interviewed for and I got it. And, you know, my arm's out of the cast. I'm doing great, but I feel like I wouldn't have got the job without your help. So I really appreciate you. And I looked at him and I was like, hey, that's what we do. Like, we're here for the community. You came in, you know, fortunately I had the time, but I sat with you and we got it done. But it's on you. It's your resume. And he laughed and he was like, no, really, I appreciate it. Cause like, you know, I even went to like the Goodwill Center and they didn't want to work with me. And like my hand being broken, I was like, nobody's going to try and help me. And he had this whole job. And that was the moment when I had been thinking about getting my master's in librarianship. And that was the moment where I was like, fuck it, I'm doing it. Because like, I know I'm making a difference for people and I'm doing something great. You know what I mean? So that was like a really cool experience. So I feel like empathy wise, that's something that I would teach because like when he walked through the door, I didn't necessarily think in my head like, oh fuck, I gotta help this guy apply to jobs. Like I was like, all right, his hand's broken. Like I can make a difference. Like maybe we get him a job. We'll see. You know, like whatever. And it turned out it worked out.
Good.
Okay, I asked this one the last episode, but I didn't go into specifics. Are you holding on to something that you need to let go of? You could be anything, Sam.
My petty ass attitude.
Your petty ass attitude.
I don't know if I'll ever let go of it though. It's like a teddy bear. It's like a little teddy bear with a knife in its hand.
I don't think that's something you have to let go of though. Because I think if you know how to control it, then like it's like me at work. Like all those instances I brought up. Like I sound like an asshole, but in the grand scheme of things, I feel like I was doing the right thing.
Facts.
I could reel it back. I could have been worse. I could have just slapped the fuck out of somebody.
To be honest, I would pay money to see that. That shit would be weak.
That would be great. I would do that the day that like I have kids and they're in college, because then I would be like, all right, there's nothing I'm working for.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. You know what I mean? Like I can retire right now and I'm straight. Like my kids are in college, it's all good. We pay for it. Slap. I just slap the fuck out of somebody.
Slap, slap, slappity slap. What did the hand say to the face? Slap.
Slap. Right. What the 5 fingers say to the face? I asked this one before too. How old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? I'll answer 12. God damn. I was gonna say what I answered before was 20. I said I would be 20 because I feel like I make mature decisions, but I also can be immature very frequently. So I'm not like I'm in the middle of being like a kid and like a grown ass man.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunity to get a message across to a large group of people, what would your message be?
Y'all are assholes. To PETA.
To PETA? Okay, all right.
Fuck PETA.
I like that. Talk your shit, Sam. That's what it is. Talkin Ish. Talk your shit.
They stole people's dogs like out of their backyards and stuff. Or if the dog got lost, the cat got lost, they would take them to their shelters. And did you know what the euthanasia rate is at those shelters?
Oh, it's insanely high. I don't know the number, but I know it's 85
to 90%.
Oh, that's insane.
Those
crazy.
Animals were for the most part healthy.
That's insanity.
They are not a good organization. They are extremists and not in the good way.
And I know you've worked with animals and you love animals. So I know this is like a real serious thing to talk about. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Because for real, like everything I've heard about PETA is like they're just trash. So I'm very glad that I've been educated in this way.
One day I want to be able to have enough money that I could stand, like get a giant middle finger installed in front of their office in Norfolk.
I like that. That's funny as fuck. Oh wait, so their HQ's in Norfolk?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
My mom sold their like head person there a car.
Wow. Oh yeah, because your mom's a car salesman. I was
like, Mom.
Yeah. All right, here's another question, Sam. I asked this one in the last episode. So, and I referred to it before, but I'm just curious what you would say. What's something you know you do differently than most people?
I guess I'm painfully empathetic. Like it can be almost painful, the level of empathy I can feel.
Painfully empathetic. Okay. I mean, I think it goes without saying that we can all be painfully something in terms of how we feel. Yeah. But to feel that way about like other people, I think is a very powerful thing because I mean, of course, in like the nature of work that we're in, you know, that's something that you especially have to embrace because even on your worst days, you still have to provide like excellent customer service, even if people are being an asshole to you, you know? So that's a good answer. I love that answer, Sam. That's a good answer. I asked this one before too. What is the most desirable trait another person can possess?
Compassion.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. But I love that compassion. Absolutely. What are you most grateful for?
Having people in my life, especially like you, like my family, and all my other friends especially the friends who I have made like this year, and y'all really, you know, just really make life a lot easier.
I appreciate that.
Because, you know, I've had a rough, you know, year, like a really rough year.
Yeah, it's been a rough year.
Of course, but, you know, rough in a different way, different situations.
Yep.
And y'all have made it a lot easier than it would have been otherwise if I were alone.
Yes, I understand that. I appreciate that a lot. Let's see. Wait. What impact do you want to leave on the world? I haven't answered this one either, so
I want to be known as a good author.
Author?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I like that.
You've read some of my stuff.
I know. No, you are a great writer. I honestly enjoy your writing, but like it's been a minute since I've interacted with any of your with your writing. So like that's a
I
really
know.
good answer.
I've just, life going on. You get kind of
You get
unmotivated and
distracted.
stuff, but I'm trying to get back into it.
No,
So
I
you'll get
got
more
you.
coming soon.
I love it. I love that. That's like the reason why I sound surprised is because I'm just very grateful that that's still a goal.
Yes. Oh,
Because
absolutely.
I remember when you sent me your first samples and you were like, hey, read this for me. You sounded just like very passionate about it. So like, it's great to know that that's still a goal for you. Which like, if you decided like you didn't care about writing, like that's not a problem, but I'm just saying, I'm happy to know that,
Oh,
something that you invested time in like that and that you talked about so positively is going to be something that you still look forward to.
oh, wait, what's this little feeling in my chest? Oh, okay, it's the thing called the heart. Okay.
You're like, it's the thing called the cardiovascular organ.
Heart.
I think it's my acid reflux personally, but now what impact do you want to leave on the world? For me, I just want like people, I just want to better or inspire people around me. Like literally, that's always been my goal. Like especially in librarianship, like when I interact with any of the kids that we work with,
Yeah.
I just want them to see that there's an example that's different than what they see every day.
Oh, yeah.
You
And
know what
I
I'm
always
saying?
really respected that about you when we worked together. Like you would always like go out of your way, and people like parents would remember you, teens would remember you, and it was just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Like that's just always been my goal, is especially just knowing like people that, are like us, that are, they're black, biracial, Latino, whatever it may be. Like they come from poor areas or even good areas. There's not enough examples of yourself when you're a person of color. So like to just represent that and be like, yo, like I'm something that is completely out of the fucking ordinary. I don't think a lot of people realize like it's not the fact that I'm a librarian and I'm a dude and I'm young and I'm Latino. It's the fact that those things combined are such a rarity that it
Yeah.
can make a kid or a teen think anything's fucking possible because they've never seen anything like me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the point. It's not to inspire people to become librarians. The point of it is to be like, yo, like I'm such a rarity in what I do. Like you could be a rarity in what you do. So
Exactly.
yeah, like you want to go to the fucking moon, like fuck it. The likelihood is low, sure, but like you can do it. You know what I'm saying? You want to make it to the NFL. There's a lot of people that look like you or me that are in the NFL, sure, because there's a lot of people that play the game. In the grand scheme of things, it's not a lot. It's like 0.001%. But like
Yep.
if you want to get there, you can do it. Like it's possible. It is just possible. The fact that there's an example shows that anything can be possible.
Like that, like I don't know if you've ever seen My Hero Academia, but
Yes.
like yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that kid, he really wants to be a hero. And even though he doesn't have a power, he's quirkless, as they say. He
Yeah.
still tries to save his friend when none of the heroes, the professional heroes, were able to. And
Yep.
that inspires the world's most powerful superhero, most powerful hero named All Might, to pass on his power to him after intensively training him and making sure this requires sacrifice. This requires hard work. This requires dedication.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. No, I love. Yeah, and like to make it another, maybe I don't want to say a more, just another example. So like another example could be like the most recent Falcon and Winter Soldier series.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was the entire point behind Captain America. It was like there's this dude from another time period who woke up and still defended our world and still saved us from conflict and saved us from a fucking alien.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then when he's gone, he passes the mantle to this dude who is a normal guy, because Captain America was like a fucking roided up person. He passes it on to this normal dude who's also a black man that's going to face different stigmas and different stereotypes than him and different issues. And old boy still embraces it and then becomes Captain America and defends the world. Like, spoiler alert if you haven't seen it, but bro, it's been 2 months. You should have watched it already. It's so great.
No, I don't care about spoilers.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, Sam, that's such a good fucking series. If you're into the MCU at all, that is so far that's been the best fucking series in my opinion. Hold on. What is the most defining moment of your life thus far?
Having to be on my own.
Ooh,
Like to
good
be
answer.
single, to be, because
Yep.
probably from the age of 16 to, you know, just a few months ago, I was pretty consistently in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is probably some of the longest time that I have ever been single.
Got you.
And it's like
Yeah.
for so long, you know, you mold yourself to fit other people that you forget who you are.
Yeah.
And so you're having to relearn that. I think we talked about this.
We did. Yeah. No, I'm glad that you're sharing it for the pod. Like the fact that you're sharing it is great. Yeah.
It's a fact. You know,
Yeah.
I'm, you know, finding out stuff about myself, and I'm 30 years old. And, you know, it's never too late to learn things about yourself, to be by yourself, to learn to kind of enjoy your own company.
Yeah. Yeah. And just for context, I am 30 as well, and I completely agree. There's something
Good. We can
different,
head on home to the nursing home after this.
right? We can both like we can bond over our backaches. Yeah. No, my knees, yeah, my god. No, I bring it up mainly because like it is interesting to think about like being 30 years old as opposed to like when I was 27. Those 3 years are a big difference. They really
Yes.
are. An amazing episode. We talked about awesome things.
I want to do this
And
again.
yes, and that's the thing. Talkin Ish. You talk your shit whenever you want. I'm
Hell
gonna get you on and we talk our shit. If there's something you want to talk shit about in the future, then we will. But all my homies, everybody I'm cool with, anybody I don't know or I'm not cool with, and they want to talk shit, y'all can come on. If you famous, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
But your boy at Football Poppy on Twitter, Felix, is the motherfucking director of like goddamn brand marketing for ATB, and this is where this fucking pod gets featured. So the bigger we get, the better it gets. The bigger people we talk to, like I'm talking to my homies right now because I know my homies are cool and y'all gonna enjoy it. But if I can talk to anybody famous, anybody cool, anybody big, anybody that people know, I'm welcome to it. At the end of the day, come on here and talk your shit. So, Sam, I love you. I really appreciate you. I'm so thankful that you came on here and talked your shit and that you had a lot of things to say. I'm going to link
thanks for having me, Felix. You're the best.
Absolutely. And I'll have you again. You know, that's the point of Talkin Ish, is everybody comes out, talks their shit, talks how they feel, share stuff, no matter how minuscule, how big, how whatever the fucking topic is. Yeah. You get to express yourself and be yourself. And that's the entire point. We're inclusive. You say what you want, you talk shit, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I dig it, man. I dig it.
I'm very glad that you do. Everybody out there listening, I really appreciate you and all the support that you give us and the Around the Block network. Please keep it locked with Around the Block. This is Football Poppy, aka Felix, or not Felix, aka Football Poppy. I should put it the other way. And my girl Sam, who I absolutely love, one of my closest friends. Please, please, please like and give us a review, all that stuff. Whatever, you know, it takes for our pod to get big. Do us a
Yelp review, even a Yelp review, just like a Yelp account.
A Yelp review. Anyone, just say it's great. God damn it! But for everything on ATB, we're doing some good shit. Keep it locked with Around the Block. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you. I know Sam appreciates y'all listening to her opinions, everything she had to say. Sam, I love you so much.
I love you, Felix. I'll talk to you soon. You take
it easy. Yeah, I'm so glad that I had you on, but I'm gonna have you again. So take it easy, all right?
All right, you too, man. Enjoy your Mass Effect.
I'm about to go play Mass Effect.
Hey, gonna go play New Vegas. Gonna shoot some mutants.
Oh yeah, go shoot some mutants. Hey, gang. All right.
Gang.
All right.